Hello everyone, my name's Jamie. I am an art director with Jerry's Artorama, and I've been working in the art industry professionally for over 15 years. Today I am going to show you how to do a painting using the Daniel Smith Watercolor Ultimate Mixing Set. Right now I'm going to go ahead and swatch out my colors just to see what I have to work with, get an idea of what I'd like to mix. I'm going to be working in the Reflections watercolor journal, and this is a cold press paper, so it has more of a tooth to it, some more texture, and you can see that as I'm creating these swatches. I'm going to start off with this quick sketch I've done of a crow, and I want it to be more colorful, so I'm going to start with my brighter colors as my base. I'm going to bring in a little bit of this green, almost turquoise, that I've mixed off to the side of my palette. And these Daniel Smith palettes are great for that. I don't have to worry about grabbing another palette if I'm in a hurry or on a go. I have plenty of space on the opposite side of the lid of the palette to do my mixing. Now I've come in, I've added a little bit more green in, and I'm just going to start showing how the shadows are coming around the back of this crow here and up through the feathers. And I'm using the Aqua Stroke Go watercolor brush pen, and this is fantastic. If you're an artist on the go, you don't have to keep dipping into water. You don't have to worry about creating a mess if you're taking your artwork outside to work on. And it's really letting me get a flow of the paint onto the paper, and I'm really letting the paint do what it feels like doing. I'm giving a general placement of where I want these shadows to be, but this paint is just so gorgeous and pigmented that when it bleeds out, it creates this beautiful effect that I don't want to mask or cover up, because that's part of the beauty of watercolor. And again, you can see the Aqua Stroke brush is allowing me to work longer, as I don't have to dip into the water. I can just keep working with the pigment that is already on the end of the brush here. And I'm bringing up now some of the darker purples I've put in the deepest shadows below the crow, up through the side feathers. Just giving that illusion of the feathers. I'm not going to be going into too much detail with this one. Now I'm bringing in more of my personalized purple in here into the upper wing, creating that differentiation between the head turned and his upper wing area. And now I'm going to go into the beak and go ahead and lay out where I think I want some more of these shadows to be by kind of blocking them and then smoothing out the edges, using the extra water in the pen to help me do that. As you can see, I've left some white areas, and this is because I want to make sure that I don't overuse the paints. That's something that's very easy to do, is to create muddy colors. If you just keep adding and adding and adding, sometimes you just can't find a stopping point. But with watercolor, it's great to use the white of the paper to your advantage. And this is also giving me time to think of what colors I would like to mix. Like here, I've created a deeper green in the eye didn't want his eye to be pitch black because of the color scheme I have going, but I've created a deeper green by mixing some of the brown. I feel like underneath could be a little bit darker, so I'm going in. And right now I'm just using the straight purple from the palette because these colors really are just so vibrant and gorgeous. You can use them straight, but blending gives you so many options, even with this small travel set. Another wonderful thing about the layering effects you can do with the watercolors, and again, this is called the ultimate mixing set, is that mix that you can get with the color you already have down on paper. So I'm thinking as I'm making this, what color will look very complementary, or what color am I going for that I can layer on top of what I already have down on paper. And again, you can see the texture really well here in the painting, which I think just gives some extra life and personality to your work. This is also a 140-pound weight paper. I prefer working on heavier papers, especially when it comes to watercolor, just because I like to really get my paper saturated so that I can move the colors around as I see fit. Sometimes I put a color down and I don't exactly like the placement, but because I have this aqua stroke brush, the barrel's filled with water, it gives me the ability to push the color I have down to where I'd like it to be. And now I'm coming in with a personalized brown. I've added just a little bit of some of the green and blue I have, and it's very subtle. As I continue the branches, I'm going to start bringing more of the colors from the crow into the branches to make this a more cohesive piece. And now I'm bringing in the darker shadows. My light source I have decided is coming from just from the upper right, just a little bit from where I would be sitting off beside my shoulder. So I'm bringing in the darker elements on the branch to reflect that. And now I'm bringing in, as you can see, some of my personalized mixed blue and purple from the palette into the branches, into the shadow areas, and creating extra, very light background branches just to give it a little bit more depth. So now you can see that we have our finished crow piece. So much easier with the use of this Reflections watercolor journal. It's the perfect size for traveling, and these Daniel Smith watercolors, this ultimate mixing set, is perfect for a wide variety of subject matter that you might want to cover. And this aqua stroke brush is just incredibly useful for pushing your paint around. So this has been another After the Swatch. Thank you for watching.